Coming up today, we're going to start parsnips in containers. That's right. We're going to do some leaf lettuce as well as get our sweet potatoes ready to start making slips. All that coming up today on the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener is sponsored in part by, for all your non-GMO, heirloom, organic, vegetable, flowers, and herb seeds, visit dollarseed.com. Sioux Growing Supply, located in Wausau, Wisconsin, focusing on certified leaf compost, an excellent amendment for poor soil, retains moisture and adds nutrients, which equals less watering. Available in Sioux organic seed starting kits, pre-filled trays and pots, bag and bulk. Visit SiouxCompost.com. Organic fertilizer for the health-conscious organic home gardener. Family owned and operated. Visit thewiveggardener.com. Don't poison your soil with municipal water. Attach a body, mind, and soil hose and filter. Free shipping exclusively through the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. Just click on the body, mind, and soil icon. Authentic Haven brand soil conditioner for the home gardener. Easy to brew, 100% organic. Visit MinerTea.com. Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Baird. Well, we got a lot of things we're going to plant today and a couple of unique ways of doing it. Now, we're going to start first with parsnips. Now, parsnips are a root vegetable that are very similar to carrots. They have a very white flesh. They're more of a nutty flavor, and they take about 30 days more. Parsnips planted in the ground would take about 100 days to reach maturity, and they have a very large top growth, a lot of leaves on the top. Now, parsnips, they come in a very unique type of seed here. And one thing you want to keep in mind is that parsnip seeds are really only good for, based on where you get your research from, 1 to possibly 2 years. So I've got 3 years worth of seeds here. I've got new seed here, I've got last year's seed, and I've got 2 years old seed as well here. So if these seeds are only good for 1 year, we're going to plant 3 seeds in each one of these containers, one of the old, one of the medium, and one of the new. The containers we're going to plant in, now we've discussed on the program that planting root crop vegetables, excluding leeks and onions indoors, is a bad idea because you disturb the roots during transplanting, and that's where you get a lot of the potential forking or uncharacteristical growing habits of that root crop. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make paper pots, because to start with, parsnips have a very poor germination rate, even with good seed. So what we're going to do is take our best chances. We planted about 40 seeds last year and we got 1 small parsnip. So we're going to increase our odds by starting them in these paper pots, putting 3 seeds in each of them, and then taking and actually harvesting, cutting off the 2 weakest ones or the smallest ones, and then taking this whole container in about a month when we get to the garden and put it in the ground and plant it, and the pot will disintegrate with moisture in the soil. So making paper containers and making paper pots are very easy to do. You want to get newspaper. So what's what we have here. Now I'm just doing it 1 layer thick. You can do it as many layers thick as you choose to. Now the tool that you can use to make the container is your choice as well. The larger the container, the larger the pot's going to be. You can use soup cans or cups. Now what I have found that works well for this 24-cell plastic tray is an old hair curling that Holly got at a yard sale. This is a perfect diameter. It's about a 1.5 inch diameter. It makes an ideal container for our parsnips that will fit 1 in our tray here for easy to transport it to the garden. But also, we don't need a whole lot of space here. All I'm looking to do is get these seeds to germinate and then cut off the 2 weaker ones, then put them in the ground within the next 30 days, okay? Next 30 to 40 days. So here's how we're going to do it. we're going to take, and the way you want to make this paper pot is you want the paper or the newspaper that you're making to be, that's approximately 2 inches taller than what your container is, and there's a reason for it. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to roll up, and I'm going to do about three rounds. I'm going to tear the newspaper here. You can cut it. We're just going to tear it off. So now I've got the paper wrapped around the hair curler. What I'm going to do is the extra portion is going to be the bottom that will get folded in on itself, so we can have a bottom base. So I'm just like a Christmas present, I'm just going to kind of fold it in, cram it in, and then I'm going to take and really press it against that curling ribbon, or that curler in there, smash down the inside, and then I'm going to pull it out, and then you have formed your paper cup. Now you can be very elaborate with these and roll the tops over and make them all pretty. I'm not looking for pretty, I'm looking for efficiency and making sure it will work for what I need. So that's how we're going to do that. So I'm going to make a few more here. Then we're just going to fill these up with certified leaf compost. We're going to use professional potting soil from SueCompost.com, and we're going to plant our parsnip seeds once I get all the containers filled here, and I get these other pots made. All right, so we've got our paper pots here made. Now you can make them round, you can make them square, you can do a whole elaborate, origami style, whatever you want to do here. So we've got these filled, or we've got these made, and again, they're only, you're looking at 2.5, 3 inches in some cases. So the best way to fill these, I mean, we could pour the soil over top here, but it's just going to be a mess. So we're going to take our milk jug funnel, which is ideal here. You want your potting soil to be a little on the dry side, and then you want to just fill the container. Now with these here, you want to just kind of compact it, slightly. Press it down so you get all the air pockets out. We've left about 1 inch there. We're going to come back, put our seeds in there, and then we're going to top dress them off. So I'm going to get the rest of these filled, and then we'll begin planting our parsnip seeds. Okay, so I've got all of the little paper pots filled. Now what I have done here is I've separated the seeds from this year, last year, 2 years ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of each seed and put, it's pretty simple, put all 3 in each container, or each paper pot, and then I'll come back and top dress it. And again, why am I wasting the seeds? Well, some of these seeds are, most likely, if I tried to plant every one of these seeds that were 2 years old, they're not going to come up at all, or very, very small germination rate. And that's just the way the seeds are. Onion seeds are similar to that, where they do not have a very long shelf life based on how you keep them and the type of seed. Some of them can last 5, 10 years. Others don't last that long. So I'm going to go ahead and plant all of these, and then we'll come back and we'll top dress it. Then we're going to talk about planting lettuce and getting your sweet potato slips all ready to go. All right, so I top dressed the parsnips there. Now, parsnips can take up to 14, 21 days to reach maturity. We're going to set these back on the rack. When we get everything planted, we'll go ahead and water everything in. So we're going to talk about starting leaf lettuce indoors in our seed trays so we can take them out when it's appropriate time. Now this is our leaf lettuce. It's in our hydroponic system. This system runs strictly off Moo-Poo tea, off the little tea bags. Now we don't put the tea bag directly into the reservoir. We brew the tea, and then every 14, 15 days we pour the old Moo-Poo tea out and water some of our container plants indoors, and we put a fresh batch in there. And it's a very densely packed head of lettuce here. We took, if you remember the show we did several months ago, we went ahead and took the seeds that we saved from the garden and just sprinkled into the clay balls at the top here, and you can see the denseness of it. And this is some of the most tasty leaf lettuce that we've ever had. And if you have difficulty growing leaf lettuce, this may be a way to go. It's very inexpensive. You do have air bubbler inside that pushes the water up to wick through the way the hydroponic system works. And if you're interested in purchasing this, we'll put a link in the show notes below. We don't get any money off of you buying it, but if this is something that's going to help you be better at growing leaf lettuce, by all means, we're going to supply that information to you so you can have good leaf lettuce. So now let's talk about planting them in our little 4 and 6 4-cell plastic containers. Now it's pretty straightforward to plant in these containers. We've got some professional potting soil from Sue's. Now this is seed in this mason jar is the leaf lettuce that we did some videos on last year that we saved. Now we saved this off about 5, 6, I think it was 6 or 8 plants. Now there's approximately, based on the weight that we were able to come up with and the calculations that we did from sources online, there's about a 60,000 to 70,000 leaf lettuce seeds in this container. That's a lot, and this just proves that if you are able to save seeds, allow at least one plant to go to seed, whether that's radishes, broccoli, cauliflower, whatever the case is, leaf lettuce, you can acquire a lot of seeds on your own and they become more climatized to your growing area. Now we're going to save this because we're going to plant these direct sow into the garden. We're going to start some bronze leaf lettuce and some gourmet mixed leaf lettuce in these containers here. And we're going to put 2 seeds, attempt to put 2 seeds in each one of these containers. Now, it doesn't matter whatever variety you like more, you can certainly put in these containers. So I'm just going to do my best to just drop 2 seeds in each container, or each little cell here. Some of these are getting more. But it's really easy. Leaf lettuce can be a very easy crop to start indoors, and then you're looking at, by the time, for us, being in the garden about another, in 30 to 45 days, this stuff will be up 2 to 3 inches, and we can kind of get our get it hardened off, and we can get this in the ground. And then when we get to the garden, we can direct sow this, so we have a succession planting in a partial shade area, so we can have leaf lettuce longer into the season. And we'll discuss all that on a future episode. So now we're going to do the bronze lettuce, and the seeds are different colors. The bronze lettuce seeds are a brown-black, and this gourmet mix is a multi-color here. So we're just going to drop a few seeds in here. I need a few more. Leaf lettuce will keep several years if stored properly. You can store it in the crisper of your fridge, just in a cool, dry place. Wherever, there's a number of resources online, wherever you feel that it's going to work best for you. Okay, so now all we need to do is just take a little potting soil. Now remember, the smaller the seed, the less amount of soil you're going to need on top. So I'm just going to barely put anything on top. And then I'm going to set this back here. Well, I'm going to bring these out here. I'm going to water these in, and then we're going to talk all about how to get your sweet potatoes, how to create sweet potato slips so you can have sweet potatoes in your garden and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. So I'm going to take my Hudson sprayer here, and we don't need a whole lot of water. Now, the key, or the one thing you'll notice when you make your paper containers is you're going to see a lot of moisture wick up on the outside, and they're going to get very weak. But that helps the breakdown process. You know, we're not looking for longevity on them. We're looking for them to be useful for the short period of time that we need. So I'm going to get all these watered in. Growing sweet potatoes can be fun, but they can be expensive if you buy the slips from an online service or at your local home and garden center or independent garden center when the time is right during later spring. Sweet potatoes are unlike normal potatoes. They need heat, but they do like moisture. So this is a summer warm weather crop. Now I've got 2 types of sweet potatoes here. This one here we've harvested last year from our garden, and now we're going to go ahead and allow it to create slips so we can take and root those slips and then take those and plant them again. Not the biggest sweet potato in the world, but it was very good for what we were growing with a very cool summer we had last year. Now this portion here is where it connected to the stem. The bottom portion is what we've cut off to allow more water to penetrate inside the potato. And all that we do is we just put the sweet potato by a sunny window and that is an adequate amount of light for it to begin sprouting. We took 3 toothpicks and allowed it to hang a couple inches in the water. Now the one beside it here is not as pretty or showy as that one. This one here, come in a month, will be 3 years old. It's got a massive root system on it. We've been taking slips off this for 2 years now. And we went ahead a couple of weeks ago and went ahead and trimmed all the slips. There was 4 slips on here, and they were about 18, 20 inches long, which we wanted to cut them back because they weren't going to be ready in 4 months. They were just going to get longer and longer, and we had some issues with some leaf problems. So we went ahead and rooted this one. Within 7 days, we began already getting the beginning portions of what will be the slips that come out of the potato. So creating your own sweet potato slips is very, very easy to do. You can buy it. This was a store-bought potato. This is one we grew. Now you can go ahead and there's resources online, but this is basically the process you'll go through. Some of them will say don't cut the bottom off. We tried that without cutting the bottom off, and we didn't seem like we got anywhere. It just seemed like it wasn't putting no slips on, or no eyes which would be slips. So we went ahead and cut the bottom off, and that was a lesson we learned from the store-bought potato. And by doing that with this potato, within 7 days we've already got 2, 4, 5 soon-to-be slips that'll be growing out of it. So leaf lettuce, sweet potatoes, parsnips, all items that you may want to incorporate into your garden, and we've got to get a jump started on now so we can save money and have a harvest sooner than everybody else. Thanks for watching. I'm Joy Baird, and this has been the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Baird.
And I'm Holly Baird.
And we want to invite you and tell you about our 2015 gardening podcast that we've been promoting on social media.
We have some really great information lined up for you and some really great guests, and that includes Joel Carson of Strawbill Gardening and actress Kate Cottrell,
Helen Yotes, and Sean Steer, and that's just the first 4 episodes. We're jam-packed through October.
We start this on March 5th, and every other Thursday through October.
Now, it'll be every other Thursday at 7 p.m. First and third Thursdays of each month at 7 p.m. on the website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com. It'll be through podomatic.com and iTunes. So if you don't have iTunes, you can still listen to it without any problem for free on the website. The following weeks, the second and fourth week of each month, that previous episode will be uploaded to YouTube with a stagnant picture, so you can listen to it if you don't want to go through those mediums to listen to the podcast. It's going to run about 45 to 55 minutes, and it's going to be a very unique podcast.
Definitely. You're going to hear a lot of different information. It's going to be fun, filled with a lot of interesting people, and you'll have a good time.
A podcast like no other gardening podcast that you have ever listened to before. So we hope to hear from you. After you've listened to it, tell us what you think. Join us first and third Thursdays of each month for the 2015 Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Podcast, a podcast for all who garden and the health-conscious organic gardener worldwide.
And if you don't want to miss anything, go ahead and go to our website, which is linked in the show notes below. Sign up for our weekly emails, and you won't miss anything at all. For more information, please visit thewwisconsinvegetablegardener.com.